Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Inside the Distance podcast. I'm your host, GK, the fight analyst, and this here is my man, Aaron J. What's up, bro? How's it going?
Good. You got a little action on your end, but
Yeah, my son's going a little crazy back here. I think he's getting ready for some fights this week too, so he's getting a little excited.
Yeah,
how's it
yeah.
going? See?
I am absolutely with your son here. I am ready for some fights, man. I'm particularly looking forward to this card for a few fighters on it, but as any card, I'm always looking forward to it. This is a more difficult card than last week for sure. So a little more creative last week. We both killed it.
Yes.
Did very,
absolutely.
very well.
Yes.
I think most people did for the most part. I'm not going to tout this past card as one that was particularly difficult, but at the same point, we almost made every correct play. So
Yeah,
it's like at
that was
that
great.
point, that's linking it together the right way. So, learn some lessons, not to invest too heavily. For me, my lesson is not to invest too heavily in a guy I know nothing about. So Ivy was that mistake last week. He was the guy, for some reason, I just really overrated. And as soon as I saw his reaction to a jab or a straight,
Ooh, that was bad. That was bad.
I was like,
He
dude.
didn't like to get hit. He didn't like to get hit.
I don't know how I didn't see that, but again, there's levels, I guess. And, this is
Maybe Aguilera hits much harder than the dudes he's ever faced. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And so, but either way, other than that, great card. This card I'm very, very excited about. And there's a couple spots I really like to make some plays on, but for the most part, it's going to take some creativity, I think. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a good card.
This is a very good fight card. Like I said, not that easy to find winners, but definitely we're gonna break this down and get to those winners. We absolutely killed it last weekend. It was phenomenal. My only regret was being way too high on Captain Aguilar. He just came in and just didn't look like himself. It looked a little out of shape, and Rosa fought smart and fought on the outside and just did enough, to win a split decision. So I wasn't. It was just a bad play. But other than that, we killed it everywhere else. Andre Feely, Tyson Nam. All those fights. I forgot the rest of it, but Marvin Vittori as well. Great submission win in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Calvillo in the main event. We pretty much cashed it all night.
Yeah.
And Dave, can't wait for this weekend and small cage bet unders. Yes, that's a very smart play. Betting the under last week was
maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think that the cards have been setting up. It's a little bit of maybe. We'll see. I think on this card as we go through, I would caution that play right off the bat as an
you're not
gonna
bet unders everywhere. You got 3 female fights on the card, so normally those are going over. I don't care what anybody says. Those aren't even finishers at those levels, anyways. Other than we'll get to Jillian Robertson and Courtney Casey, but I think the other ones are going over, like Marion, Reneau, and Rocky Pennington, and
exactly.
Teacher Torres, Van Buren. So.
Even some of the male fights are really, really close. It's just one of these things where you never know. I mean, everybody made the assumption with the Gilbert Burns and Tyron fight that wasn't going the distance. I got Gilbert Burns at plus 465 for the decision that night. So thank you very much to everybody making those assumptions. But it's like we've got heavyweights in the main event and a small cage. You're like, that's good, but the over-under is 4.5, so something's up. But this whole card could, you never know. It's MMA, but it's always more fun to bet the unders, isn't it?
Yeah, because you want all the action, but you sweat a lot more on the under, in my opinion. I sweat. Because I like the overs because I feel a lot more safe that these people aren't going to knock each other out, choke each other
as it goes on. It's really hard to do those things, especially
that's why I always bet overs.
Especially when the other guy is really good at not letting, or gal is good at not letting those things happen. But let's I'm ready to jump into this card, man. I've been waiting.
Yeah, definitely, man. And we're gonna start on the preliminary card on this magnificent fight card. In the lightweight division between Austin Hubbard and the newcomer taking this fight on just 2 weeks' notice, Max Roshkov. Right now, Roshkov is a minus 190 favorite, and the comeback on Hubbard is a plus 165 underdog. How do you see this one going? And before you start, I will be right back. I have to deal with something real quick, but you go, do your part.
Yep, I'm going to talk to Dave here and anybody else who's listening. So Austin Hubbard versus Max Roshkov. Right off the bat, we look at the new guy, Max, who's the 2-1 favorite, and he's obviously an outstanding wrestler. Division I wrestling qualifier, I believe. He had a shoulder injury back in college, I believe a torn labrum, and also he had an infamous tweet that got deleted off of his Twitter, I believe, that said 2 weeks ago they had a shoulder injury that then was deleted, and since he's been on some interviews, said he didn't, said he's confident. Who knows? Austin Hubbard, 1-2 in the UFC, facing mostly grapplers. He faced Kyle Perpolic, but other than that, he faced a couple grapplers in Davi Ramos and Marco Madsen. Davi wasn't able to finish him, and Max has not been out of the second round. And I don't bet 2-1 favorites when they haven't really been out of the second round. I learned that with Alonzo Menafield a couple weeks ago. Obviously, that's a little different situation with Dwight Clark. But in this situation, Austin Hubbard training on elevation, same as Blaydes. So cardio is not going to be an issue. Grappling is not going to be an issue. And I do think that there's a possibility that Max begins to gas if he can't get the submission in round one. So I think I am going to favor Hubbard. I think he can eke out a decision. I also think he can get a finish late. So I am going to take the underdog here in the opener. I like his striking. I just don't know enough about Max yet. Max has only faced one guy with a real plus record. Other than that, he's faced a few guys with 1-0 or less type of records. He does get finishes really quickly, but I don't see him being able to finish a guy who wasn't finished by Davi Ramos, wasn't finished in his last fight by Madsen, who's an Olympic level wrestler. But Max is also like 6'1". He's a big guy, and if he comes into this fight ready, I do think that there's a good possibility that he takes this one. And inside the distance, I think, is not a bad bet for Max, but we don't know. And he's 5-0. I do think if he was a great prospect, I wonder why they'd be taking him on short notice, but it's Corona time. I am definitely running out of things to say about this fight, but
my bad.
anyways,
I'm coming back.
My pick again. It's okay. I just ran my pick again is I am by taking the bullet and taking Austin Hubbard by third round TKO. I'm going to go ahead and take the shot. The third round prop, by the way, that I am doing for an extra little greasy play for a very, very small wager is a plus 1575 for Austin Hubbard. I love that, to possibly take a guy into the third round where he hasn't been on short notice with an injury, maybe 5-0. Best guy he's faced is Zach Zane, who lost on the Contender Series and looked like garbage. But Austin Hubbard has faced good grapplers like Davi Ramos. Eventually he's going to show he can wrestle, I think, and maybe it's here. But I'm going to take the shot. I definitely would not be betting Max.
I'm very excited for the debut for Max Roshkov. Like, extremely excited. Very big prospect, extremely good grappler, very good submission grappler, 5 wins by submission, all 5-0, all 5 finishes. Hasn't got to the third round. He's just a go-getter. He's just one of those guys that just goes in, gets the job done, does what he does well. and finishes fights, and I like that. Will I bet him here? Minus 190, 2 week notice. Don't know how his gas tank is going to be. I know he was getting ready for a Contender Series fight in August. So he's been in shape, and he's willing to take this at 155, not 170. So he's definitely been working out. And he's huge. He's 6'1".
And how do you feel about the deleted tweet?
I mean, from what I've seen in his interviews, he said he's been doing.
What fighters ever said they were injured in an interview?
No, I don't think he's injured. But I like Max. I'm rooting for Max. I want to see Max win. Am I gonna bet him at minus 190? No.
Yeah,
unfortunately, I just can't.
Can't. What I brought up with this fight, although it's almost like the inverse way, is I brought up, from a few weeks ago, Metafield, and I know this is a little different, but it's some similar types of parameters to it. A 2-to-1 guy who hasn't proved to have any sort of a gas tank has kind of one way to win. What happens if it doesn't go that one way and it gets out of that first round? And obviously, it's a very different one way it can't go. But most likely, he can wrestle for 3 rounds if on a full. But wrestling takes a lot of energy, even if you're a wrestler. So there's a lot of unknowns for that price.
But I think Max can finish Hubbard. I think he could submit.
So Davi Ramos can, and I just don't give Max. The
thing is, Davi Ramos doesn't hunt for subs like Max does. He doesn't go crazy. He's not energetic. He's not jumping all over the place looking and hunting for subs.
And then what happens if we get to round 2 with that?
Exactly. Yeah, but I'm just saying, if he gets it done in round 1,
you're right.
If he gets it done in round 1.
And also the other thing I brought up was Hubbard's at Team Elevation, which has a couple guys on this card. They got good bodies in there.
I mean, he's going to be in shape. Hubbard's going to be in shape. He's going to be in more shape.
We don't know how Max is going to react to leg kicks. He's never really been leg kicked in a fight. I know it's like, he's a wrestler. He'll just pick the leg. But if they're properly placed leg kicks like Gaethje likes, every fighter Gaethje coaches, even, on The Ultimate Fighter, Gaethje, when he coached Nico Montano, she was throwing those leg kicks out of nowhere. So when I was looking up, Lauren Murphy fights, I decided to watch that fight. And, even in that fight, she was throwing the Justin Gaethje leg kicks. So we don't know how Max reacts to that kind of pressure, that kind of pain. This is the 4th fight for Hubbard in the UFC. I know he only has 1 win. I know he gets taken down. I'm just saying there's enough there for me to bet it. And and I'm just going to have an extra fun with the 3rd round prop at 15.75 on a new guy who's never been to the 3rd round.
That's not bad. I mean, if I was taking Hubbard, I'd probably take him by decision plus 365. But
I'm taking him just straight up and then a little greasy 3rd round cover for if he decides to get, that KO in the 3rd.
He's getting a little jiggy with it in the 3rd round. Yeah,
I just can really see Max getting tired, man. If that 3rd round and those aren't coming,
possible.
Hubbard almost put away Madsen. If Madsen was on 2 weeks' notice, maybe he does put him away. So.
True.
I'm not
betting on this fight. I'm just excited, to see Max in there. I'm passing. I'm just gonna watch as a fan.
It's a great fight.
But yeah, absolutely, definitely a good fight to start off the card. Next up in the flyweight division, we have a fight between Roxanne Modafferi and Maureen Murphy. Right now, Modafferi is a minus 115 favorite, and the comeback on Murphy is a minus 105.
Minus 115, minus 105, minus 10.
Minus 105. It's a pick'em fight.
As it should be.
30. That's a pick'em fight.
37 versus 36.
So, with that said, how do you see this one playing out?
It's a pick'em fight. I don't see there being a finish on either side. These are just 2 fighters that have routinely been able to cash for me as underdogs. So now in this case, it's perfect that they are a pick'em. I think that Lauren will be the stronger of the two.
Yes.
But I think Roxanne is got kind of the wider frame of the two and may be able to control where the fight takes place early. I don't really know. I think this is a close fight. I see Roxanne having to get it to the ground in order to win, and I'm not sure if she's going to be able to.
I don't think so either.
And
I really don't.
I don't know what she really does against Lauren Murphy. Because she had that good performance against Macy Barber. But against Shevchenko, she was able to get it to the ground and use her jiu-jitsu. And if she can't get it to the ground, it turns into a boxing match. Volume-wise, Lauren has it. Strength-wise, Lauren has it. I think she can press her up against the cage. And all of that said, I still, for some reason, think somehow Roxanne finds a way to eke it out. Some way. I don't know. Yeah.
Really?
I'm going to take her for – I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 2 rounds to one side or the other. So I'm not sure. But this is not one that I'm going to be paying too much for. So this is one I'm going to watch because I think 5 times Lauren Murphy wins, 5 times Roxanne wins. And I just don't bet 37 and 36-year-old women. Lauren could gas.
I'm really liking Murphy here.
Mm-hmm.
By decision, plus 150. I just think she's going to be able – she's faced far better wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Far better wrestlers than Roxanne Modafferi.
Yep.
She only lands 21% of her takedowns. Her entries are god-awful.
Yeah.
Okay. She literally has to muscle people to the ground, and she's not that big of a girl, to really be able to do that.
She does look like she's in good shape.
She did. She looks like she put on. She looked like she put on some good amount of muscle, and maybe she does out muscle Murphy to the mat. It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
But I just think Murphy is going to be able to stay on the feet and just outwork her, and she definitely will outwork her. She'll be the aggressor. She's going to be one pushing forward. She's going to be the one throwing more shots, landing more shots. And you're talking about Murphy went against Andrea Lee and made it competitive. I still think she lost every single round.
I do too.
But way more competitive than Modafferi would have been against Lee.
Yeah, I mean, that's just MMA math, I guess. I don't know. Like, this is a fight that, again, I really do feel 5 times one wins, 5 times the other wins. So,
yeah, it is 50-50, but I'm getting Murphy at decision at plus 150.
Yeah, I don't see a finish here, so I would say that if you're betting one or the other, bet the decision with them, because otherwise it's like you really think there's going to be a KO, a sub? No. So I don't have much.
Yeah, we'll just keep it moving. It's not a spot to really go crazy with, but I am personally just laying something small.
What happens with the winner here? Because originally I kind of thought this was going to be a title eliminator at 125, but
nothing happens. Modafferi still has to win another fight.
Yeah, because you see who's number 2 at flyweight now. Not to get off on a flyweight ranking tangent. No. Cynthia Calvillo.
Well, essentially, she should be for going by the ranking system.
Ridiculous.
Ranking system.
The ranking system we'll get to in a fight coming up here. So,
but with that said, I think Calvillo can be 90% of the flyweight division, anyways.
But I'm not sure. So yeah.
So essentially, Jessica Eye should not be ranked at all now.
Of course not. I'm fine with that. She's a bantamweight now, anyways. She missed weight again.
True. But I'm just saying if they're giving Calvillo that spot,
I get it.
I don't think Calvillo is gonna fight for the title. Right after that, I think she's got to at least fight 1, maybe 2 more people and be as dominant as she won against Eye to really get that title shot.
Yeah,
which is possible.
Yep. So our first, we had 2 for 2 on disagreements so far tonight, my friend.
Yes. I like that. It's gonna be interesting to see who is the smarter one of the two at the end of the night.
Yeah, I always like a card like this. I've been agreeing with you a lot, and we can. I think for the most part, it starts to straighten out here a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's starting to get to the flow of things going on.
Yeah, but we still got a couple where we can easily disagree. So let's move on to this short notice shit.
Yeah, let's get to it right now. In the lightweight division, we have a fight between Frank Camacho and the short notice fighter.
The short-armed fighter.
The short-armed fighter, Justin James, fighting out of Extreme Couture in Las Vegas. Right now, the betting lines are set. Camacho minus 325. The comeback on Justin James is a 265 underdog. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, props to Justin James, Michigan product. So I believe at one point I saw one of his fights regionally because he does kind of look familiar. I'm from Michigan. So I think like 10 years ago or so, I think I did see this guy win because his nickname is Guitar Hero. And back in like 2010, that shit was huge. So shout out to him for hanging on.
Sounds about right.
Shout out to him for hanging on to the nickname all these years later. But yeah, I don't know a ton about this guy other than, that he's kind of a 50-50 type MMA fighter. He's pretty good wrestler. He's more of a wrestler, but he's got some decent boxing. I mean, he's 13-4, so he's got a decent record. He hasn't fought in a year, and when he did fight, he beat a 41-year-old. So it's kind of reminds me similarly of like Gina Mazzani last week.
Yep.
In this shot. Hopefully he can take the shot a little better, but I'm not so sure. And I really do see Camacho getting the finish probably in the first round too. He's going to have the reach advantage, a huge reach advantage. Justin James has a 67.5-inch reach. And I just think the takedowns aren't going to be effective. I think Camacho had to have been preparing for takedowns, getting ready to face Frivola anyways. He's now facing a guy who's 4 inches shorter than Frivola, probably. Probably about. I mean,
they're the same height.
Is Frivola like 5'7"?
Yeah.
Oh wow, he's a little guy. Some of these guys, it's really weird. They look so tall on TV for some reason. Then you realize, like when you see them live, you're like, oh my god.
Hey, 5'7" is average. Okay, I'm 5'8". Okay,
yeah,
so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Either
way here, 67.5-inch reach, unable to get takedowns. Maybe you can survive to a decision similar to Gustavo from last week against Divashvili, but I think that Camacho is a little more of a finisher. He's been preparing for a guy who's similar to this.
Camacho has 16 knockouts in his 22 wins.
Camacho's a former welterweight. This guy's probably actually
fighting against Jeff Neal. Like, look at those fighters that he was killers.
Yeah. So, and he asked Jeff Neal to kill him, and Jeff Neal did kill him. One of the best knockouts I've ever seen in my life. When he just started yelling, and then Neal just cracked him. Oh my god, that made me never want to bet Camacho, and here we are. I believe yesterday I said to you, I'm never betting Camacho. Yet here I am. I'm going to bet him inside the distance. What odds? You're going to tell me the prop on that, but that would be.
I don't think we have anything yet as far as.
I hope that's close to plus money, but it'll probably be about -1.
Wait. I think we got props. Hold on. Oh, oof. It's bad. You're minus 180.
Jesus, can't do it. I'm gonna have to leave him alone. I don't put props into parlays anymore. I've lost too much money.
No.
Way too much. So I mean I'll put him in a parlay or two with my other like hammers of the night. But
I feel like he is an addition. He should be an addition in all parlays.
In round one.
I don't got that yet. I just have decision and inside the distance props.
Gotcha. Okay.
Fortunately.
And how you see this fight going? Pretty much, I assume you agree.
Yeah, I'm going the same way.
We're not going 3 for 3 on disagreements.
No. Camacho's got to get his W here. and hopefully we get to see Frivola versus Camacho in the very near future, albeit that Camacho doesn't have a medical suspension, which I really don't think he will. But yeah, I definitely have Camacho here. I think he should be added in every single parlay of yours. He's a Sherlock to win. He's going in every single one of my DK lineups for only 8K. He's going in every single one of my FanDuel lineups for I think he's only $14 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean he's a must play in all daily fantasy sports. Every single one of my lineup. I don't care how much he's owned, because if you think about it, you only need to hit 5 more winners because he's a guaranteed winner. So
yeah, I was starting to lean towards him against Frivola as well.
Me too. I actually did have him as over Frivola.
Yeah, I was early on leaning towards Frivola, and I did shift as the week went. And as
Me too.
I mean, yeah. So I feel even more confident now. So let's move on to my favorite fight of the night.
Sure. Oh, of course. A little bit of bias, but we'll talk about that. Yeah. This is a great fight between two flyweight contenders. We have a fight between Courtney Casey and Jillian Robertson. Right now, Robertson's a slight favorite at -115, and Courtney Casey is a -105. Pick 'em fight, whatever you want to call it. Let's get down to it. So how do you see this one going?
Well, I just want to thank my casual MMA bettors on this one, because I think that the line opened at -150 for a reason, and it was -150 for Robertson. And I think that this is a matchup that is made for Jillian, frankly. It's a striker who she gives about as much as she takes in Courtney Casey. She's been at featherweight, or at strawweight, for most of her career, losing to most fighters by split decision that she faced. When she came up to flyweight against Barella, the concern was, what if she gets taken down? Like 1 minute in, she gets taken down. I've shared this number with you at this point, but Courtney Casey's takedown defense percentage against 115ers, for the most part, mind you, is 37%. That's not very good. And I think
Barella went one for one.
One for one, and she got arm barred inside the guard, which I didn't know was still allowed in 2020.
But it was like the most idiotic thing I've ever seen. She got out, pulled out, jumped right back in. It was just, I was like watching. I'm like, why?
It looked like a dive. It was so unbelievably dumb.
She was like, here.
I mean, it's like, I don't like using the term she gave her arm to her, but that's actually what happened, is that she gave her arm to her. And yes, Jillian has been submitted by armbar in the UFC. And that was a few years ago at this point. Jillian's offensive grappling, there's no one better in the division. I think that she's got good takedowns. I think she's got good trips from the clinch. I think that this being in a 25-foot cage plays a huge factor. I think that I am taking Jillian in this. I love the price at -115. That is absolutely ridiculous. And I will be hammering that line. I have been hammering that line when it was at -120, -125. And I think that this is a case of recency bias with a lot of bettors who they just saw Casey and they're like, oh, Casey won, and she won by armbar. And they don't think, how did she get to that armbar? And if she wants to use the game plan of getting taken down at will against Jillian Robertson, who has a control percentage of 60%, which is like some of the best all time for top control percentage. And she has 4 finishes, 3 submissions, and 1 TKO at 125. There's no other girl with those kind of numbers, by the way. She's 25 years old, and Courtney Casey is 33. I just think overall, Courtney Casey stands up very straight. Her legs are easy to kind of wrap, get your arms around for double legs. There's a playbook on how to beat Courtney Casey, and it's avoid the armbar and not to get into a kickboxing bout. If Casey's able to keep this on the feet, avoid the takedowns, really make this a kickboxing, keep her at range, that's where it gets tough for Jillian. And I think that's where a lot of people are betting and seeing this happening. But for me, I have Jillian. I have her by second round submission. I think she's going to kind of cook her in the first round and then get her in the second round. I think she's learned not to be over aggressive and position over submission, and position while getting submission, I should say. So I'm heavy on Jillian. That's why you can talk maybe more about Courtney here, but I am very confident on Jillian, and I think this line is way off. And on a card where there's not a lot of value, this is a spot where I see value.
I do have to agree with you. Hey, before that, hey Eddie, what's up, bro? How's it going? Glad that you're here with us, cashing these bets and breaking down these fights. But with that said, yeah, I do like Jillian in the spot a lot. I went over the tape to make sure what I've seen is correct. I love that she's relentless with her takedowns. In the Veronica Macedo fight, she had 6 takedowns in just 7.5 minutes. 6 takedown attempts in 7.5 minutes. So you know that even through all the scrambling and the takedown attempts, being on her back, getting up, throwing punches, moving forward, takedown attempts, doing all that, she didn't gas out, and she was eventually able to sink in the rear naked choke in the second round and get the sub. I think that's great because the pressure, the pace that she puts on, the takedown attempts, I think it's going to put a toll on Courtney Casey through 1.5 minutes. And even if she doesn't get the sub, she's going to be up 2 rounds to none for just being busier, getting the takedowns, staying on top, landing punches, going for submissions, getting up, doing it again, taking her down, just like clockwork. It's just drilling. It's like drilling because it's so easy for her to take her down.
She loves this shit. This is what she does. She's in phenomenal shape. She's had 8 months to improve since her loss to Macy Barber. And that was not a great matchup, not a great performance. I credit all that, but she's had a lot of time to improve. She's in absolutely fantastic shape. She has trained with a lot of really good girls leading up to this.
I heard she was training with Agapova a little bit.
She was with Agapova back in ATT. She left ATT with Dean Thompson, has moved over and was working with Hannah Goldie as her main sparring partner. I think that is a brilliant sparring partner for Courtney Casey. I've got to imagine Hannah Goldie can completely mimic Courtney Casey's style. And I think that
other than reach and height, but yes, the rest she can.
I'm saying she's gotten to work with a couple other people as well. But either way, yeah, I'm very confident here. And the wrong girl has her name with the number next to it, but these rankings will be fixed after this fight.
Yeah, I feel like that was kind of a setup for Jillian Robertson to come in and swoop in and take that number because if Courtney Casey didn't have a number after her name, there really isn't much for Jillian to want to take this fight, So now she has a reason to take this fight. It's because she has that number next to her name, and she can finally get into the top 15, getting this win here.
Yeah, and she belongs in the top 15. 4 finishes in the flyweight division. She would be the only female under the age of 30 in the top 15 once she cracks it. So at 25, she's been in the UFC since she was 21 years old. This girl is no joke, and not enough casuals understand how good she is. They look at her, think, oh, she's cute. She's got red hair. But this girl is a savage. There's a reason that's her nickname. It's not just for show. Exactly, Dave.
We're spelling it out here. Dave is spelling it out here.
Yeah, and she is one of
savage.
She's I won't use the L word, but she's one of my picks of the night. She is definitely one of my confident picks of the night.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. She's definitely one of mine as well.
Full disclosure, my hair will be red on fight night. So I got the red hair dye here. So
are you serious?
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. I'll go grab it here in a second. But yeah,
so when you dyeing his hair though?
I was thinking about doing it right before the podcast. But
you should have. You should have did it on the podcast.
Yeah, I should just do it right now. It's temporary. So it's temporary hair dye, but I don't know how temporary it is.
30, is it 30 washes? Because my daughter was looking at that stuff today.
Oh shit! Let me see. Hold on. I'll go
Granted, just took my daughter to CVS to look at hair dye, and she got the same stuff.
Yeah, Be Wild. The girl kind of looks like a really, really harsh version of Jillian, obviously, but and so this will be
just do it. Just do it, man. On the podcast. We're getting red hair on the podcast.
There we go. I got Jillian as the official pick. Let's go, Jillian.
Oh man, we should have had her on the podcast while you're doing this.
I think she's at the PI right now, unfortunately. But I'll make sure to screenshot Dave if you could send this to Jillian for me. That'd be great. So yeah, War Jillian. Let's go.
Let's go. We're getting this money. Let's go. Man. She gotta come in there, get a rear naked choke in the first round. You watch.
How dare you?
Just get it. Oh, Let's go. That's good. That's good. That's gold. That's podcast gold, everybody.
Ready,
podcast
baby.
Gold. We dye our hair the same colors of our fighters out here. That's what we do. That's how much we support these fighters. We dye our hair those colors.
Absolutely.
Oh,
right, but there's no fight I'm going to be more passionate about on this card. I'm sorry. I'll be honest. There's just some, it's different when it's someone you care about in there. Period.
That's true. But yeah, the next up we have a middleweight fight between.
Oh yeah, time to bring me down from my fucking high.
Yeah,
we're back in the LFA. We're back in the fucking LFA, man. We're back in the LFA.
Oh my god, it's so true though.
Sorry, I'm all hot off these fucking fumes right now. I think. Fucking smells like a paint. My dog dipped out of here. I don't know if you can see him, but he heard that shit and he's like, Chico is like, I'm fucking out of here, dude.
Oh my god. Let's go. So we're going from a very high to a very low when it comes to this middleweight fight between Marc-Andre Barros and Oscar Pihota. Right now, it's a complete pick'em fight, and for good reason. Me personally, I want absolutely nothing to do with this fight. I know you guys want me to break it down, but from a betting perspective, I do not want anyone to bet on this fight. I don't care if you just want to be a degenerate gambler, just don't bet on this fight. With that said, my man Aaron over here, if you want to bet on it, he could give you some insight.
All right. So I am like as degenerate as they get and as ill-advised as it gets when it comes to betting. Like I'm you're the professional here, man, and I'm not the casual. I'm the emotional bettor. I'm the guy who like has to bet on every fight, right? This fight makes me the exception, man. I really don't know who to pick here. I started on the week where I was like, whoever's the underdog, let me just go with him. Power Barbaro is the underdog.
That is the number one degenerate saying. Whoever's the underdog, I'll just go with him.
So, but this fight, if any fight deserved that logic, it's this fight. But I decided to actually look at some tape, and I'm kind of sorry I did. I'm kind of glad I did. So with regards to Pihota, I think he's just the guy who actually has some semblance of UFC skill with regards to his grappling. He has a black belt from somewhere. He has a black belt from.
That's true. He does.
And, not all black belts are created equally. So it's one of those discount bargain bin ones, but it still works maybe on someone like Marc-Andre Barros. I'm going to take Pihota here. I'll take him by decision. Who gives a fuck? If you're betting a prop on this fucking fight, you're stupid. Like, dude. I'll take Pihota by decision. I hope it gets over quick, but I have a feeling I'm going to be cooking my steak during this fight. celebrating a Jillian Robertson win.
Yes, we're gonna be throwing up our dollar bills on our bed like.
Oh my god, I don't even
nothing.
Yeah, it's just it's gonna be great. But to have really frankly a potential of these next 3 fights really bring down my high here because these could be 3 times shit fights, man. No offense to the females, but that's just so damn close. It's gonna be a Tisha Torres fight. Spoiler alert on that next fight. But I'm not who I'm picking, but I mean like the style of the fight. But I'll take Pihota. Actually, I'll take Pihota by submission because it'll get over sooner. But I'm not telling you to bet it. I'm not telling you anything other than I think Pihota's a little more skilled than Burrow, who I don't know what Burrow's good at. He had 5 like split decision wins in TKO. Like he kept just like barely winning fights. Like whoever he's
on a regional scene.
Yeah,
I thought he was good, and then it's like, okay, loss. Okay,
no, he's got
loss.
Loss. So what happened is he has a fantastic name and a cool nickname in Power Bar. So you're like, oh, this guy's good. But no, he's like, I think he was probably doing some Mexican supplements when he was over in TKO that in USADA he can't do. He could knock out Pihota, who holds his chin up higher than Stefan Struve. But
that's pretty hard to do.
Oh my, dude, Stefan Struve, don't get me started on Stefan Struve. Let's move on. But I'm not going to be shaving my head for Pihota here. So that I'm not that.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
There's no other fighter on this card that I'm changing my hairstyle for. Spoiler alert ahead of time.
All right, let's move on.
This red looks next, good though, man.
Yeah, you're looking good, man.
Really came through. I have dark hair, so I was worried. I was like, you
kind of look like you're in a pop rock. Pop rock.
It looks a little
band over there.
Man. I'm should I dye the beard? Leave your comments leave your comments and let me know.
Just start spraying it.
It's like everywhere. My whole face.
All right. Next up in the strawweight division.
Not making a pick.
Oh no, I don't care. I'm not picking that fight. I don't care. I don't care who wins. I will be going to the bathroom.
So you're picking. Just pick Burrow, so we can have another disagreement. It will be fun.
I will pick no one. I'm telling you, people, do not pick this fight. Do not do anything with this fight. I don't care who wins this fight. We're not betting this fight. I'm talking about betting. We're talking about making money. I'm making money on this fight.
If anybody is advising you to bet on this fight, they're not your friend.
Yeah, they're not. If they're your friend, they'll tell you to just save your money.
Yeah.
And you bet, just do flip a coin. You win money. You have a 50% chance.
Just enjoy not betting on a fight for once. I'm not even tempted to. I bet on every fight. I bet on Titan FC fights. I bet on anything, man. I'm not betting on this.
Yeah, no.
Not betting on this.
No. It's a no-go. No go. I mean, they're so close in every statistical category as well.
They're not good
as well.
And they're not good.
They're so close across the board. It's like no one has an edge anywhere.
I bet Burrow has a black belt from like a karate studio in a strip mall to equal fucking Pihota's. Where's Pihota from? Russia?
Something like that.
Yeah, wherever he's from.
But he trains. I'm assuming he trains here because no one from outside can come in yet.
Why is this fight here? Why didn't they just go with 10 fights? Like, this fight sucks.
It's gonna be an ugly fight.
If this wins fight of the night, if you have a place where you can bet props on fight of the night, this has to be like plus 1,600 to win fight of the night type of.
No, plus 16,000.
You imagine?
Thousand. Almost 1,000, definitely. Gotta be close to that.
We spent too much time talking about.
Yeah. Let's keep it going. Yeah. Next up in the strawweight division, we have a fight between Tisha, the Tiny Tornado Torres, taking on Brianna the Bull Van Buren. Right now, Van Buren is a sizable favorite at minus 225, and the comeback on Torres is a plus 185 underdog. How do you see this one going, man?
I was so Brianna Van Buren kind of showed us everything in her UFC debut, which
against decent competition too.
Right. So I mean, she should win this fight here. I mean, Tisha Torres is still going to be the smaller girl somehow at 5 foot against a 5'1" girl. So she's still, but this is like finally a girl actually Tisha's size that she can fight. So there is that argument here. There's, of course, the experience issue between the two of these gals. And Tisha has miles of experience on Van Buren. But that being said, I still really, have seen Tisha completely continuing to kind of decline. She's very not lethal. And, I just don't think she's going to be stronger still against Van Buren, who's a smaller girl. I think Van Buren's going to be way faster too. She's going to have more volume, be able to get in and out. So, yeah, I'm going to take Van Buren here. She's a parlayable piece, even still at this price, but it's edge of unbettable now. I got her under minus 200. So at minus 225, I'm not crazy about it at this point. You can make it.
Yeah,
but
I agree. I think Van Buren wins. She throws good volume. She comes forward. She's an aggressor. So Tisha's going to be side to side, back against the cage for the majority of the fight, which gives way for Van Buren to get up against the cage, land a couple takedowns, just do enough to win a decision. I just think there's a much higher ceiling when it comes to Van Buren, and Tisha being on a 4-fight skid. She's on a massive decline.
You keep using all these hype puns without realizing. I think you've used higher. There was a couple other ones you keep using for these 5-footers here. You're like, she's got a really high ceiling. She's gonna be able to stretch this one out. Again, I'm getting high off these fumes, bro. So don't mind me.
Not even noticing, but yes, these two tiny straw weights will be battling it off. But
she's got a high ceiling, bro.
She's got a very high ceiling for being such a small girl.
Every ceiling's high for her. She's small. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
True. Very true. But yeah, I got Van Buren. I have her by decision. Cut a little bit of that juice off. Minus 150. I think minus 155, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think she could pull out the win. She'll do more volume, more, being the aggressor and just, maybe taking her down, land a couple of takedowns. But yeah, I have Van Buren taking a decision here.
And I don't do a whole lot of adding props to my parlays. I know I already said that, but this is a decision prop I can add to a few of them. Yeah. Maybe really, I can. I'm giving up almost.
You're talking about Torres has never been finished in UFC career. Yeah, she's faced far better, caliber fighters. Yeah. So I don't think she's gonna get finished here by Van Buren.
Yeah. So I agree with that. Let's move on.
Yeah. Next up in the featherweight division, we have a fight between Clay Guida and Bobby Green. Don't know why, but we do in 2020. Right now, Bobby Green is a minus 250 favorite, and the comeback on Clay Guida is a plus 210 underdog.
Yes. Just had to grab my charger for my laptop before we lose battery. There we go. All right.
No, you're good. Okay. So, with that said, how do you see this one playing out?
Okay, so I think that Bobby Green has had so many close fights in the UFC.
Extremely close.
Seeing him at a minus 250, I don't like it. Even against a guy like Clay Guida. But if there's anybody I'm okay with it against, it's a guy like Clay Guida, I guess. But he's still
since his only wins in the last 5 years are BJ Penn and who else? Joe Lozon.
yeah, and BJ Penn hurt him in the first round. BJ Penn in 2019 hurt him in the first round. So, I just think that it's hard for me to believe Green can get a finish, but I'll put him in a couple parlays maybe, but other than that, there's not much I can do with him at minus 250. I'm sure.
I guess what I know what you can do with him. Check this out.
Yeah, speak to me.
Take Bobby Green to win a decision at plus 170. 7 of his last
plus
8
170 is lovely.
plus 170. This is a steal of a line if I've ever seen one, because 7 of Green's last 8 fights have gone to a decision.
Yeah, I would parlay a little decision parlay with Van Buren and Green.
Or you could do a KO and decision prop as well if your book has that. Some books do. I think that's a beautiful prop. It'll cut down on a little bit of the juice. I don't know if a whole lot, but I definitely am going with a decision prop here. I think it's a beautiful line. Plus 170. Like I said, 7 of his last 8 went to a decision. I just think he does enough on the feet. He throws more volume. He lands more. You're talking about 4.95 strikes per minute compared to Guida's 2.45. He throws over 10 strikes per minute. Guida doesn't even throw 8 strikes per minute. He's landing at a 50% clip. So, he's got he's more efficient in the fleet.
I'm just hesitant on the decision prop because I just don't know if Guida has the durability.
Well, when was the last? I can let me search it now, but I don't remember when the last time Guida got finished due to strikes, though.
Yeah, I mean, he does usually get finished due to chokes, so you're right there. But
yeah, at least he's crazy, but he doesn't normally get finished by KO.
BJ Penn hurt him, but he didn't put him away. So
the last time he's been knocked out was in 2016 against Brian Ortega, and before that was Chad Mendes in 2013.
Both those guys have more power than Green.
Yeah, and that's it. Those are only 2 knockouts in his entire 20-fight UFC career.
Okay, well, I think that makes complete sense. Plus 170 decision for a guy who's gone to decision in 7 of 8.
Yeah, I think we're getting a great line there. Plus 170, you're cutting all that juice out, all of it. Go from minus 250 all the way down to plus 170. And I'm not saying to load up. This is not a lot, but that has value.
Yeah,
a ton of value if I've ever seen one.
Great call.
Yeah.
All right.
Next up in the catch weight 60-pound division. It's not a really division, but it's a catch weight of 160 pounds between Jim Miller and Roosevelt Roberts. Roberts is a massive minus 250 favorite. The comeback on Jim Miller is a plus 210 underdog. What's going on in this one?
So I guess I'm the only one who is still on Roosevelt Roberts here because everybody I seem to be talking to.
Everybody's on Jim Miller, and I'm quite surprised.
Yeah, man.
Very surprised.
The reason that I'm on Roosevelt here is that there is a point in Jim Miller's career that he beats a guy like Roosevelt Roberts. Those days
not now, though.
Are not today.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, and what told me that is his last performance against Scott Holtzman. He just doesn't have.
But the thing, what's the crazy thing? From what I've been talking to people, they think so highly of Scott Holtzman.
He's 33 years old.
He's so great, and I'm like, but who is Scott Holtzman really beating?
And
what
he's 33 years old also. Scott Holtzman is not young in the tooth himself. He's 33, 34 years old himself. Jim Miller is now, 38, I believe. Yeah. And Roosevelt Roberts, 26. Didn't look as good as he should have against Brock Weaver. But, he still was able to put him away. He has great boxing. And I think that I just don't see Miller being effective with getting takedowns after 3 minutes of the first round.
Agreed.
In that first 3 minutes, he could snatch up that neck and get out of there really quick. But I don't see that happening. I think Roosevelt stretches him and takes him into deep water here and gets a decision win.
Yeah, I'm with you on that as well. I understand there's value in Jim Miller. Jim Miller's a vet. He's been in there. He's lost to the best, but he's way past his prime. We're talking way past his prime. And you're talking about Jim Miller that looked bad in his last fight against Scott Holtzman.
Jim Miller on short notice in quarantine.
Yes, and guess when the last time he took a short notice fight? 5 years ago. Okay, that was the last time. That was against Danny Castillo.
Yeah, exactly. So, this
5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, No one's taking that into account. Everybody thinks this is Jim Miller, full camp Jim Miller. No, this is 160 pounds, quarantine in New Jersey Jim Miller, where New Jersey was locked down just as bad as New York.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not getting in that rightful camp that he should be. He's going in there, getting a paycheck. And, Jim Miller is very dangerous in round one, but he's round one or bust.
Yep. Yeah. I'm with Roosevelt here. I think that the price being under 300 is a gift.
Yeah, I think so as well. But obviously I do not like paying the juice on Roberts at minus 250. I'd rather just take it by decision at plus 190.
Yeah, I take him at decision, but I do think that's a parlayable piece still for me. So I'm willing.
I'm with you on that. I definitely think Roberts should be part of your parlays.
Yep.
Next up is a very, very good fight in the welterweight division between Lyman Good and Bilal Muhammad. Right now, Muhammad is a minus 120 favorite, and the comeback on Good, a plus 100 underdog. Mm-hmm. How do you see this very evenly matched fight going?
Man, originally when it first got announced, I just was like Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad. But then I've kind of looked into it a little more. I've looked into the type of guys Bilal's had trouble against, and the type of guys who've given Lyman Good trouble. And Lyman kind of fills in that role a little bit of some of those guys. He's not as precise as an Alan Joban, not as precise as a Vicente Luque, but he does have that power that Bilal's shown has affected him. He does kind of a similar type of power to like a Jeff Neal, not quite as much, but kind of that can affect and disturb Bilal. My only concern with Bilal is if his speed advantage isn't as much as I'm anticipating it's going to be. I'm anticipating he has quite the speed advantage and that he's going to be able to mix it up and get Lyman down a few times, tire him out, and win a decision. But I'm not too confident in it. And this is another one I'm kind of lightly going to be on, but I'm going to stick with Bilal by decision. But I'm a little bit concerned with Good. I think Good can definitely is kind of in the wheelhouse of matchups that are tough for Bilal. So.
Yeah.
Smaller can play a factor.
This is not a fight I want to bet on. I think it's just too close of a fight. I mean, across the board, their numbers are eerily similar, not too far off. You're talking about Lyman Good is landing 5.32 strikes per minute. Bilal Muhammad's landing 4.37, so it's not that big of a difference. It's only 0.6, there. Then you have the output 10.86 for Good, 10.66 for Muhammad. Mm-hmm. 49% accuracy for Good, 41% accuracy for Muhammad.
Yeah.
60% defense, 67% for Good. Mm-hmm. It's so close. And then Good has good takedown defense.
Yes.
Muhammad has good takedown offense. So it cancels each other out. It's so close. I don't know who's going to win. The only place I'm taking Good is on DFS because I like his number. It's only 7,300 on DraftKings, and then I think that's kind of a steal. It's a 50-50 fight. You're getting him at 7,300. He's got power to knock out anybody. I don't care. I'm all over him at 7,300. I think Muhammad is 8,800, which is ridiculous. He's not going to even come close to the numbers that you really want for someone at 8,800. So yeah, Lyman Good in daily fantasy purposes is all I got, but I can't bet on either side.
Yeah, and I do think that it's just super close. It really is. So
yeah, it's a fight that I tried getting into, and it's just like I just can't find a clear side.
If it's a stand-up war, I do fear that Good is going to appear that he's landing the better shots and going to be able to win a decision. So
it's possible.
Because I think even though Bilal could end up at the end of the day with more strikes landed, Good may look like he's landing the better shots and could win a decision still. With it being at the apex, it being no crowd, you're going to hear every shot Good hits. him with. While Muhammad may hit him with 3 or 4 where you don't even hear them. They're just peppered in there. So it's just something to consider, especially with Good being the underdog here, that if it's close in a stand-up war, Good's going to look like he's landing a better shot, most likely.
Probably.
So just
most
something
likely.
to consider. But
Yeah.
I do think Muhammad has by far the better gas tank. So it's
true.
We'll see.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I was wrong on Good last fight with Rencounter, so now I'm gun shy. I was all over Rencounter last fight for some reason. My bad.
I don't think I was on rank count, but I don't think I picked Good either. I think I kind of just stayed away.
Good looked so good too.
Yeah, he looked phenomenal.
When that power's landing, he's scary. But sometimes he just doesn't throw anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes, some fights.
Sometimes, yeah, that's true. I mean, he was gun shy in Maya, but rightfully so. But anyways, moving on in the bantamweight division, we have a fight between women's bantamweight division. We have a fight between Marion Reneau and Raquel Pennington. Pennington is a minus 160 favorite, and the comeback on Reneau is a plus 140 underdog. How do you see this women's bantamweight fight going?
Yeah. Oh man. I really, really am trying to find a way to pick a 42-year-old who hasn't fought in 15 months and really needs to most likely get the fight to the ground. I know a lot of people talk about Reneau and how she rearranged Kuznetsova's face at the end of the fight, but she also got outstruck in every round by Yana, including that third round that she supposedly won 15 months ago. So I'm going to take Pennington here. I'm just to be the busier fighter. She's not 42. She's been training with Tisha. She'll be in good shape. Decision for Pennington. I'm not betting this hard, maybe if at all. Hey.
Yep. Nope. This isn't. Nope. I'm not. Nope. Not happening. Not betting this fight. Don't even want to look into this fight. I didn't want to look into this fight. I was leaning Pennington in the beginning just because she's younger. She's faced better competition and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, she's
I don't care. Yeah, no. I don't care.
I don't know what it's doing up here.
Yeah, this is way too far up, but then they had 4 female fights, so they kind of had to spread them out, so unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, they had the order going right, like, for a lot of this fight card, but some of these fights I'm very questionable on. David.
I mean,
David's on
still
the upset special. So
yeah, just like everybody else on MMA Twitter talking about Miller with the upset special. I just think everybody wants to fade Roberts. That's what I'm feeling.
Everybody's like Roberts against Vince Purcell. But
no, but we're not. That's not the same fight.
Gas tank. And also, like, fighters learn from losses. But
it came. I know Yakovlev took him down, but he came through that and beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And then he beat the crap out of Weaver. Yeah. And now he gets an old Jim Miller.
Yeah, but that Pennington Reneau fight, huh? Really good.
Then we're talking about other fights right now. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the co-main event of the evening. Arguably the best fight on this card. We have in the featherweight division, Josh Emmett taking on Shane Burgos. Right now, Burgos is a minus 145 favorite, and the comeback on Josh Emmett is a plus 125 underdog. How do you see this one going?
Oh, man, this is a tough one. I've been back and forth on this one. I started with Emmett, went over to Burgos, came back to Emmett. Where am I at right now? So basically, I looked at the last few fights from both fighters, and they tell you quite a bit. The Michael Johnson fight, particularly for me with Emmett, tells me a lot. He has that eraser, man, and if you want to bet on that, I'm not going to hate on you betting Emmett by KO. But other than that, I'm not sure he can piece together a decision here against Burgos. So you're betting KO or bust with Emmett. And Team Alpha Male lately is not the Team Alpha Male of like 7 years ago that everybody imagines it as. A lot of Team Alpha Male guys lately have been fighting and not fighting that great. Feely, for example, last week, our most confident pick, way too close against Charles Jourdain. Really made that too close. Nearly blew that fight. Didn't look great at all. We've had some other guys, Song Yudong against Vera. Didn't look that great. Really eked it out. We've got a lot of fighters leaving Team Alpha Male lately. You have it's just it's not really what it used to be. So I'm not sure how great of the people Emmett is going with there is. I'm not sure how great of a game plan he's going to have. And against a guy like Burgos who has so much volume and knows he has to avoid one thing, a right hand. And if he can avoid that right hand, he's golden, I think, to get a decision. So I'm going to take Burgos, and I'm going to take him to get the decision win. I think he's got to make sure to maintain the lateral movement. He can't get hit with the same shots he did against Kurt Hullabalala because Emmett will put him away, but I don't think he will. So I'm going to take Burgos, put on a little bit of a boxing clinic, and get a decision win.
Yeah, I'm completely with you here. I'm very high on Shane Burgos. I know Emmett, I think, has landed 10 knockdowns in his UFC career. He's got some insane power, but if he doesn't land that knockout, he's gonna get absolutely battered and beat, especially against Shane Burgos, who has an enormous volume to his striking. He throws over 14 strikes per minute. He lands over 7.09, which is the most in featherweight history per minute. Emmett's landing over 4 strikes less than him. So there's a massive discrepancy in regards to the output. And then on top of it, Emmett doesn't throw a lot of output either. After the first round, he drops off immensely, especially in that Michael Johnson fight. He went from throwing, I think, anywhere between 30 and 50 strikes in the first round to only 18 in the second round. And then he threw about 30 or less in the last 2 rounds before he got that knockout. So, yes, he may be moving around, but he's gunshot. He's just looking for that one standstill and just pop with the right hand. But Burgos is going to be in his face. He's not going to give him the space to land an overhand right. He's going to have to land an uppercut or straight right to knock him out. He's not going to have the whole cocking back and winging that right hook. He's not going to have all that power because Burgos is pushing forward, getting in his face, rip it to the body, rip it to the head, throwing the straight right, the jab, just keeping the pressure moving forward, making him go side to side, back against the cage, 1, 2 to the body, 2 to the head. I pictured it perfectly. He throws the straight punches so well, and that's what his efficiency is. He gets hit with a ton of jabs. He gets hit with a ton of straight rights. That's what Michael Johnson was doing. Granted, he was out of range on a lot of those, but if he was in range, wanted to stay in the pocket more, he could have landed at a lot more higher clip than what he did. And I'm very, very high on Shane Burgos' boxing. If he doesn't get clipped, he wins this fight easily, clear as day. It's not even close. I think Burgos has a striking clinic. I'm taking Burgos. I'm taking a money line, being safe, and I'm also going to hedge on Emmett by KO just in case. I always like to at least cut my losses a little bit just in case that happens. I think this is a great spot to do so. I know we may take 1 unit off the winnings of Burgos, but it's just to be safe. If God forbid that happens, we take a lot of the loss off of what we were, putting on Burgos to begin with. So
smart play.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going with Burgos here, and very big. And then I am cutting my losses with Emmett by KO if that does eventually, if that does happen.
I like it.
But next up in the main event, it's a great main event given the odds, but I think there's a great main event between Curtis Blaydes and Alexander Volkov in the heavyweight division. Right now, Blaydes is the biggest favorite of the card, minus 430, and the comeback on Alexander Volkov is a plus 345 underdog. That is insane. Does Volkov have a chance in this fight?
I don't think so. To keep it kind of short there. I said last week, add Blaydes to all your parlays when he was at minus 240 because he's going to be over minus 400 by next week. What is he?
Look what happened.
I told
Over 400.
I told you. Now he's hardly bettable. Like,
Yeah, he's not. He's not bettable at all, unfortunately.
Yeah. So,
and you can't even bet him inside the distance either. It's minus like 2 something. I'm like, that's insane. That's insanity. You should never bet somebody to win inside the distance at minus 200, whether you have 5 rounds or not.
Yeah, the over/under is 4.5.
Yeah, and the under 4.5 is minus 220.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're killing me.
Yeah, they're just like, you know what? Fuck you, Blaydes. Like, that's what they do every fight.
No, that's not even that. They're doing that to any better. They're not letting any better make money on this unless you're betting $1 million.
That's why I told everybody last week, add him to all your parlays when he was in the 200s, because that was just. I think Volkov, he could land some volume and put him away. Sure, it's a heavyweight, but I just don't see it. I think that Blaydes does get the finish at some point, 3rd, 4th round, maybe, after kind of cooking him with the wrestling. His stand-up is good enough. If he can't get the takedowns he's shown against a guy like Junior Dos Santos, any guy not named Francis, I think Blaydes beats, and he'd already be champion if Francis didn't exist. So Volkov has lost 7 fights to a lot of guys like this. Fought Timothy Johnson close. And this guy's going to wrestle a whole lot more and better than Timothy Johnson ever could. It's Blaydes.
Let's just hope that he doesn't do something stupid like Corey Anderson did and throw a naked leg kick and get completely shell shocked by Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, if he gets terminated, then Blaydes really just never
shit the bed.
Yeah, he's an apple pie shitter. He's in a bunch of my parlays that are ending from last week. Like I have parlays, a few this week that I already made with my most confident picks. So, I mean, he is my Blaydes' 3rd round TKO.
Yeah, Blaydes is in every single one of my parlays. He's got to end in every single one of your parlays. He is a sure lock to win. I don't like taking the IDT prop because it's minus 220 or something crazy like that. I don't like the under. It's like minus 200 as well. I'm going to throw a small dime on, Blaydes to win via decision, which is like plus 346.
Yeah.
Just maybe he wrestles him into oblivion and just doesn't finish him. Mm-hmm. It's definitely possible.
He's done that before.
That's the only play I can see, straight betting Blaydes. Other than that, it's Blaydes and a parlay, and that's it.
Yep, I agree.
And unfortunately, it's not a great breakdown, but I can't fathom Volkov is just gonna knock the living daylights out of Blaydes on the feet. He doesn't have that kind of power.
Yeah,
he really doesn't.
Yeah, I agree.
And Blaydes should be able to dictate, the pace and the pressure on the feet and just take him down at will. I think what his takedown numbers are freaking astronomical. If I get to it, he's landing 6.63 takedowns per 15 minutes, and he's averaging and attempting 12.05 takedown attempts per 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So he's attempting twice as many and landing 50%. That's insanity. That's a lot. And I don't see about being able to defend that against a very, very skilled wrestler.
Yeah, he's lost to wrestlers before. I just don't see that. That's the type of guy who beats him. I would do, I like doing these bigger parlays. So parlay I'd be doing is Blaydes, Robertson, and Camacho. That is coming in completely.
Yeah,
completely.
That's a great parlay actually.
Yeah. So even if you want to throw Green in there too, you're fine. I'm doing that parlay myself.
You can literally do that and throw in a Torres and Van Buren over 2.5 rounds for a 5-teamer because that's gonna hit.
Exactly. But those 5, I feel really soft. Again, I have a 5. I hit on my 5 parlay last week. I'm very confident this week. Again, those 5. So I'm sure that pays out some plus money. So
yeah, I would say at least close to three times your money.
I'm pretty sure it was plus 3 when I got it. So
that's nice. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that,
but like with that said, if you had to give out your 3 best bets on the night, what would you give out?
So just overall bets, I would give out. I love that Bobby Green distance at plus 170.
Yeah, me too.
I like. I just like doing the Green Van Buren decision parlay. I think you can get some good money on that, and that's how it's going to come in. Honestly, I like Robertson. I think that price is really good, so that would be one of my plays. And then Camacho. Camacho gets the finish, but that doesn't get you much money. I don't really have another like solid play. My solid play was to put Blaydes in all your parlays already. So
I mean, that's good enough.
Yeah.
As far as what I got, I do love that Green decision as well. I'm going with you with that. I'm also going with Robertson as well. I really like her.
Mm-hmm.
And then, damn,
it's tough.
My boy Shane Burgos.
Okay.
We ended off with a Shane Burgos beating of Josh Emmett. Yep, that's it. That's our episode. That's the rest of this breakdown. That's this breakdown for this week. Very hard to really hone in on a lot of these bets. Not a lot of value. A lot closer fights, but there's still money to be made, and we're going to be cashing bets again this weekend, just like we did the weekend before, and the weekend before that, and the weekend before that, and we're going to keep it rolling. With that said, my man, where can everyone find you on social media? Shout your stuff out.
Yeah, so I'm Aaron J on Facebook, Aaron Jay. You can always find me there. Also, yeah, I'm just I'll be around, man. I'll be around. I'm here every Wednesday or Thursday, depending on the week. But yeah, I'm always here, and I'm always down to talk some fights. Yeah, let's go, Jillian. Get that neck.
Yes, let's go, Jillian. Let's cash these bets. You know we're very big on her. But yeah, guys, you know where to find me. Twitter at Fight Analyst, Instagram and Facebook, The Fight Analyst. Guys, if you want my package, go over to thefightanalyst.com or send me a message. And to get my picks, it's just $25. Remember, guys, prices going up after these next 2 events. Once we get into Fight Island, the price is going to be going up just a little bit. But don't worry, we come with the quality picks, and we come with a ton of cash. With that said, head over to the Fight Bananas YouTube page, like and subscribe. We're here every single week helping you guys make a ton of money. With that said, we will talk to you guys later. Let's cash some bets. We'll see you guys next week. You guys have a good one.
Peace.